When we're saying it's a technology, we're basically claiming it to be an art more over than science. Now, are there certain attributes that are scientific? Yes, they are. So we're looking at the mind, and we're looking at the mind in terms of what techniques can we use to stimulate the mind. As Bandler reaches out, he says NLP is like an attitude, a methodology, something that leaves a trail of techniques. Again, the word technique has been used. Now, what is an attitude? Attitude in terms of NLP, we basically do coaching with the reference of NLP. I love the attitude part, and the attitude is called curiosity. So I love therapists having the sense of curiosity. Any great interventionist or a therapist would advise you that you should be always curious. So when clients come to me, I'm always curious. Rather than looking at the why of the aspects, I'm always indulged into the how of the aspects. So when a client comes in and says, Arslan, I'm going through a lot of challenges in my life. I'm going through a lot of problems in my life. And the great NLP, inquisitive inside me, and curiosity that I have, I basically ask, well, how do you create the problem? So if I know how they're creating the problem, I can model somebody who's the best at it and basically also learn, help the individuals and the clients to learn those strategies of basically overcoming their challenges or problems. So it's curiosity. Let's first understand it. It's a technique. It's to understand and anticipate curiosity, to understand the attitude, and basically asking the question, how does a client do it? How does one have depression? If you ever come across a client who has a sense of depression and they basically linguistically tell you, Arsan, I'm going through a depression, well, how are they creating that depression? So we are trying to understand how they're doing it by studying their behaviors and patterns. We're basically also going to give them the technology and techniques to overcome it and also to advance further beyond it. Now, we've talked about modeling itself, so we've talked about curiosity. And the other great thing that, it follows through is the willingness to basically experiment. Therapy and coaching overall, I would basically attribute coaching as an art. And if you find any great therapist also, for example, even if you come across any great psychologist or a psychotherapist or even a coach or anybody else who does interventionists of the people who basically look after mental health, this will be amazing for them. They'll tell you that it's an art. And why is it an art? Because human mind is so vast that it cannot be put into a lab, just like you put a rat in the lab and you study it. Human mind is diverse. It goes into many, many directions and forth. Every human being is very, very unique in their own domains. They have their own ways of defining realities. They have their own words also to structure any experience. It's been fascinating. So even when somebody tells me, son, but when people come as depressed clients, shouldn't they go to psychologists? Sure, they should go to psychologists. But sometimes we want to ask also the clients at a very prerequisite level, what do they mean by depression? And one client basically came in and said, well, my depression means I am basically not able to fulfill all my tasks that are in my routine. So that's now the client's definition for depression. So it doesn't indicate anything in terms of chronic depression. It's just that they don't have any word to generate for it. So they label, and they label a lot of words like that. And we have a lot of sense of labels that we attribute to our daily routines.